Hi guys, today I'll be talking about contact dermatitis. What is contact dermatitis? So contact dermatitis makes up 95% of all occupational skin diseases. It can be either acute or chronic skin inflammation triggered by physical or chemical agents. It is classified as either allergic contact dermatitis involving cell-mediated immunity or irritant contact dermatitis where the T-cell mediated immune response is not involved. Irritant contact dermatitis. So irritant contact dermatitis is an inflammatory skin reaction caused by chemical or physical agents resulting in impaired skin barrier function, cellular damage to keratinocytes, and pro-inflammatory cytokine release, which contributes to skin inflammation. Subsequently, these disruptions lead to upregulation of major histocompatibility class II antigens and cell adhesion molecules. Pro-inflammatory cytokines including interleukin-1A, interleukin-1B, and tumor necrosis factor A, contributes to heightened irritant responses. The CCL21 chemokine is also increased in irritant contact dermatitis, which assists in the movement of T lymphocytes, contributing to the inflammation. Detergents, solvents, acids, or alkali are common agents that contribute to the onset. The type of irritant, exposure time, duration, concentration, environmental and mechanical stresses determines the severity of irritant contact dermatitis. Other factors including sex, age, affected areas also influences the severity. Occupations that involve regular hand washing and using gloves, including healthcare workers, are more likely to develop this type of dermatitis. In particular, hand dermatitis. Acute irritant contact dermatitis arises quickly upon exposure, usually between minutes to hours, whereas chronic irritant contact dermatitis develops progressively in response to continuous exposure to milder irritants. Irritant contact dermatitis is an injury, and overuse of physical or chemical agents can trigger the development in everyone. It makes up 80% of contact dermatitis cases, and increasing exposure to weak irritants such as smoke contributes to the development. It causes a direct injury to epidermal cells, instigating the innate immune system, and this leads to an inflammatory cutaneous response to different external stimuli. Allergic contact dermatitis. So allergic contact dermatitis is an inflammatory skin condition caused by a type 4 T-cell mediated delayed hypersensitivity reaction to an allergen. And this causes skin sensitization. Chemical allergens or haptens are small molecules that can penetrate the epidermal barrier, allowing them to be identified by pro-inflammatory T cells. Once in the skin, allergens are collected by dendritic cells and appear on the surface of MHC class II molecules. Dendritic cells are triggered by danger signals, permitting allergen-presenting dendritic cell maturation in the epidermis and the dermis. The dendritic cells travel to the lymph nodes and deliver the allergen to T cells. Proliferation of dendritic cells leads to the development of effector cells, which are initiated when exposed to certain allergens. Subsequently, allergen-specific T-cell mediated immune responses, including allergic contact dermatitis, are activated upon contact with allergens. Re-exposure of the antigen leads to activation of the inflammatory cascade by sensitized T cells. Clinical features. Chronic irritant contact dermatitis occurs from recurring irritant exposure for a long period of time. Characterizing features of both irritant contact dermatitis and allergic contact dermatitis include erythema, oozing, crusting, vesicles, or dull, scaly red rash, and lichenified lesions. Irritant contact dermatitis commonly presents in young adults in occupational settings. Irritant contact dermatitis commonly presents with a rash that is well demarcated and doesn't spread to other areas, whereas allergic contact dermatitis involves a well-demarcated rash developing after an allergen has been in contact with the skin, which has the ability to spread to other areas. Pruritus is a common feature of allergic contact dermatitis, However, individuals with irritant contact dermatitis experience sensations such as stinging, burning, or itching. Common allergens include nickel, topical antibiotics, preservative chemicals, fragrances, and rubber accelerators. Pathogenesis. So irritant contact dermatitis causes disruption to the skin barrier and activation of the innate immune system from the direct toxic effect on epidermal keratinocytes after contact with an irritant. For example, sodium sauryl sulfate, commonly found in detergents. Similarly, acetone found in nail polish remover causes depletion of lipids and impairs the epidermal barrier. The impaired barrier causes enhanced permeability to irritants and allergens. Prolonged exposure to weak irritants contributes to chronic epithelial injury, stimulating pro-inflammatory cytokine release from keratinocytes such as interleukin 1A, interleukin 1B, tumor necrosis factor A, etc. This causes dendritic cells, Langerhans cells, and endothelial cells to be activated by cytokines. Irritants can also stimulate toll-like receptors and nucleotide oligomerization domain like receptors, which initiates an inflammatory response. These cells cause chemokine release and neutrophil, lymphocyte, macrophage, and mast cells to be activated, which travel to the epidermis, producing more inflammation. Management. So some management strategies for allergic contact dermatitis include avoiding scratching and exfoliating the area, patch testing using patches with test substances to identify certain allergens and detect allergic contact dermatitis, using moisturizers with emollient properties to provide a protective barrier on the surface of the stratum corneum to prevent transepidermal water loss and inhibit harmful chemicals penetrating the skin. Emollients that contain mostly water reduce the penetration of lipophilic chemicals, whereas emollients comprised of mostly lipids lower water-soluble chemicals penetrating the skin. Moisturizers that incorporate various ceramides can assist with restoring stratum corneum lipids that have been lost, improving hydration and skin barrier, as well as reducing inflammation and pruritus. Wearing protective clothing such as gloves to prevent contact with an allergen, trying topical corticosteroids which reduce inflammation and pruritus, and trying calcineurin inhibitors such as primochromous. And some management strategies for irritant contact dermatitis, they're similar. So identifying the irritants such as cosmetics, fragrances, soaps and detergents, and ceasing use. Also wearing protective clothing such as gloves to prevent exposure to chemicals or irritants, using moisturizers, and again trying topical corticosteroids to reduce inflammation and pruritus. And this is just an image of how patch testing is conducted. Thank you.